From a distance, in its serene mountain setting, the campus of Western Carolina University looks tranquil. But up close, there's trouble. A conflict that began last summer has rattled the administrative building and changed the lives of at least 4 people, 2 of them professors.
This should never happen on a college campus.
It's a big, unfortunate mess. It's just been killing me.
And 2 of them students.
It took me by surprise that I didn't expect a teacher to do anything like this.
It's now a living nightmare here that just you can't wake up from.
Let's start with Gloria Patterson. After raising 7 children, the 49-year-old went to Western Carolina to get a degree in construction management. Her husband, Dr. Jack Patterson, teaches in that program. Bob Ford is a professor in the same department. Both professors agree they had no prior conflict until August 25, 2010. That's when Gloria says she was standing in a hallway talking to a classmate when Ford, who had always been friendly, crossed the line.
And we're in the middle of a conversation, and the next thing I know, there's a hand coming over my shoulder from behind me with his fingers down towards my breast, and he went squeezing hard, started laughing, and walked off. I mean, I was in shock at what had happened. I was totally humiliated.
Sarah is the classmate who says she witnessed the incident. We're not using her real name. She says it was especially stunning because Ford had done the same thing to her that morning and 2 days earlier.
He put his hand on my right shoulder and he started groping or massaging it in such a way that I felt that it was a sexual overtones to it.
She says she didn't report it because there were no witnesses and she was afraid Ford would retaliate by giving her a poor grade.
It's like, okay, you got to say something now because now there's 2 of us.
So the women went to their academic advisor, who sent them to the university's equal opportunity director, Dr. Henry Wong. Sarah says Wong would not let her file a complaint at the same time as Gloria, and then waited 21 days to interview her. Gloria says Wong would not let her see the report he had written, and seemed in no hurry to address the fact that she and Ford cross paths on a daily basis.
I said, well, what am I supposed to do? He said, what do you mean? I said, you mean I've got to be, this guy is going to be loose and walking free and in my face after he's assaulted me, and you're not going to do anything until you get back from vacation? What am I supposed to do? He said, oh, well, Miss Patterson, if you're scared, just find somewhere to hide.
Feeling unprotected, Gloria went to campus police, who took her to a magistrate who issued this arrest warrant for Ford on a charge of assault on a female. The warrant states Ford grabbed her right collarbone, leaving markings. Ford says he was blown away.
She makes me out to be a monster.
He says he doesn't believe he touched Gloria on August 25th, but he also says he does tend to put his hands on people in a friendly way of greeting them.
I could have maybe touched her shoulder or something, but it wasn't in a manner, for harm.
He says he certainly wouldn't have squeezed hard enough to leave markings. He says he does remember touching Sarah, but not in the way she described. He says he merely tapped her on the shoulder while she was talking with other students.
Why not just get her attention by saying her name, though? Why touch her?
Well, I was. I said, hey, she kept talking, and I was in a hurry to go. And I said, here's that email, blah, 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 and just left.
But you're talking a tap on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Nothing, no grabbing?
No,
No
nothing.
squeezing?
No.
But new reports contradict Ford's interview. Sarah and Gloria filed complaints with the U.S. Department of Education. In its response, sent just days ago, the DOE says in both cases the university interviewed Ford, who acknowledged that he had touched the complainant as alleged. The report goes on to state the university concluded that the conduct did not constitute a violation of the university's policy prohibiting sexual harassment, but the school did advise Ford to refrain from touching students and faculty. The DOE concludes there is insufficient evidence that Ford's conduct created a hostile environment, as it was not overtly sexual. However, the DOE does take issue with Western Carolina's handling of the matter, stating the school's sexual harassment policy does not clearly designate reasonably prompt timeframes for investigating student complaints, and saying the university failed to notify the women of the outcome of their investigations. As a result, the university has signed an agreement to revise its sexual harassment policy by May 1st and to notify complainants of an investigation's outcome from now on. As for the criminal charge against Bob Ford, the university returned him to campus 9 days after his arrest, allowing him to continue teaching in the same building where Gloria and Sarah take most of their classes. Gloria says the stress of that situation caused her to take a medical withdrawal from school. Sarah is now taking her classes online.
Just having to drive down past the university, I go into major panic attacks. And there was just no way that I could go on campus, to be able to take the exams.
As for why the university returned Ford to campus, a spokesperson says, quote, "We cannot speak about the details of any specific case because of confidentiality laws. We can say that university policies and state and federal regulations regarding the safety and security of campus have been applied and followed." He goes on to say, if we have evidence that any employee or student is a threat to the safety of anyone on campus, we absolutely would take steps to remove that person from campus. Bob Ford says his days of touching people on the shoulders are over, even though he never meant any harm.
I know in my heart that I'm not at fault here. I'm not the bad guy in all of this.
They're empowering him by keeping him on campus. They're telling him and they're telling other professors that it's all right to do what he did. And it's not all right.
Dr. Jack Patterson says this interview will likely cost him his job. But he had already decided Western Carolina, despite its peaceful setting, is a place where his family will never have peace. In Cullowhee, Chris Cato, 7 on your side.